Well, aloha kakahiaka, and today, especially because it's 2 days before Christmas, mele kaliki maka. Merry Christmas, everyone. Great to all have you here. If you're watching this on a recorded basis, there's chapters included with this YouTube video. You can skip through to what you want. But if you are live here with us, we've got a really, of course, as usual, we try to have a great show planned for you today. Let's go through a quick lineup over here to let you know what's going on. First, we got some music for you. That's our Kanakapila section. So hang on for that. We've got a great band for you today, one of my favorites, actually. I got some great news. So there's some travel deals that I think are maybe available. So this might be something that you want to get involved with. And we're going to have a really cool, of course, it's several days before Christmas. So we're going to have a Christmas discussion for today and close with our motivational thoughts. And all along the way, your questions, your comments, really, you're the ones that make up the show. And not only are you the ones that make up the show, but of course, my friends who are with me right now are the ones who are really making up the show. We've got Heidi Dollinger, who's from Maui. We got Dylan Nonaka, who is from the Big Island, and we have Ashliey Wasson, who is from Oahu. Welcome, everybody. Let's warm up those microphones. First, we're going to give a quick shout out here to those who have joined us early. Auntie Joyce is here with us. Aloha and mele kaliki maka to all. Welcome to Auntie Joyce. Great to see you. And the other auntie that we have, Auntie Joan. Auntie Joyce is from it's a kind of fun gang. Auntie Joyce is on the Big Island, and Auntie Joan is on Oahu. Auntie Joan says mele kaliki maka and haole makahiki ho, everyone. Now, haole makahiki ho is the Hawaiian way we say Happy New Year. So with that, let's go clockwise. Let's go Heidi, and then Dylan, and then Ashliey. Let's warm up those microphones. Heidi, what you doing today? What's it like out there? What's the coffee? What's happening?
Sure. Well, it's a gorgeous winter day on Maui. It was about 72 degrees this morning. Went on a short walk. And I just wanted to share there's actually, if you are coming to Maui and looking for good coffee, I'm pretty excited. There's a new drive through coffee truck called Kraken Coffee. They have an actual coffee shop in South Maui, and they've come over to the west side where I live. So it's Kraken like the sea monster, and it's really good.
Oh,
And
release the
coffee's a
Kraken.
great holiday
That's cool.
gift. If anybody wants to know what to get me for Christmas, coffee is what I like.
Well, I have to say, Heidi, you were so kind. You kind of blew us all away. Everybody. Heidi was so cool. She sent all of us, Dylan and Ashliey, some Maui coffee, and I haven't unpacked it yet, gang, because I told Heidi I have to wait to my OCD coffee kind ofness has to unpack it, vacuum pack it, 43 grams, and then have a single serving. So that's what I'm going to do on Christmas Day. Thank you, Heidi. It was, and then with the I love Maui bumper sticker card, which is like super cute. So thank you so much, Heidi. Dylan, what's happening, buddy? What's the big on, and is that a Christmas shirt that you've got on over there? What you
Yeah,
got?
this is my Christmas Ren Spooner right here, and it's got a ton of stuff. My wife was analyzing it this morning. It's got Santa with a canoe paddle and surfboards with a Santa hat and just all kinds of random stuff on it. So typical Hawaii Aloha shirt for Christmas. But it's been a beautiful day over here. Sun is back shining. We had some gnarly weather, which I'm sure we'll talk about earlier in the week. Very uncommon, but we're back to bright, beautiful skies. And yeah, but it's cold. I left the house yesterday at 7 a.m. and it was 61 degrees when I got in my car, and I was like, this is crazy. So there's lots of snow on the mountain, and it's cooling the island down. I don't know if it's as cold over there as it is over here, but definitely both mountains are just like covered in snow. It's beautiful. I mean, we drove to Hilo on Wednesday for my son's basketball game, and you drive through both mountains, and Mauna Loa was just, it seems like it was like halfway down, and Mauna Kea was totally covered. I mean, beautiful.
I got this shot just for you, Dylan. I mean, this is the craziest shot I think I've ever seen. And if someone told you that you were in Montana when you took this shot, right?
Yep.
You wouldn't have you would not have good reason to doubt them. I thought this was, I've never seen actually Mauna Kea so snow capped like this. This is
Yep.
the most snow capping I've ever seen. Usually, gang, it's the very, very top, like right up over here. The very top gets
which
hit,
is still a really big area, right? So if you go up there, yeah, we just think that the tip is really huge. But if you think about this, I mean, this is like a massive amount of area.
Huge area. Great update. Ashliey, welcome back. A beautifully color coordinated studio, I might say, over there. How are you? Give us the update. What's going on?
I totally planned that.
Of course.
I am, like you guys said, I'm sure we'll get into the weather, but my gosh, what a way to end 2022, right? Like just random gnarly weather for 2.5 days. And then you come out and you're like, well, it's snuggle weather. And then you're like, wait, never mind. It's beach weather. Like 2:30 hit and all of a sudden it's clear skies and sunny as can be. But it was just hailing like that morning. So it was very interesting. I love cold weather. And I love snuggle weather, but I also love the warm weather. Hence my clothes like half, like half long sleeve, half like get off me. So this is perfect for me. I'm cold when I'm in the shade and I warm up when I get in the sun. Now you're muted, Peter.
Hello. Thank you. Did any of you guys catch any hail? You mentioned hail. I did. Who caught hail?
There was hail on my lanai.
There was hail in your lanai.
Yeah, it was like blowing on, it's blowing onto my, like under the roof onto the lanai. So I wasn't even here. I was in Vegas during the storm, so I missed it. But my wife was sending me pictures.
And there's hail at my rental property in Wahua, and it's all they're tin roofs, they're metal roofs. So it was a song.
Loud. How about you, Heidi? Did you catch any hail on Maui at all?
I didn't see any hail, but a lot of big trees blew down in Wailea, and there was a lot of just heavy rains and flooding. I mean, when I was driving Monday morning we call it the other side, there was water running across the main road, and you just drive slow and keep going. But yeah, very unusual, like wind, rain, lightning. I mean, we barely ever get lightning. There was a lot of lightning. So yeah, super stormy, but now you go outside and it's like
what? Where is it? It's gone. Yeah, it's interesting. So Jen Tomko, is it Tomko or Tomko? Jen says, "Aloha, I got hail in Kona too." Yeah, there you go. You and Dylan both. Dylan, have you ever had hail in your house before? Hail ever that you could remember?
Not down here. I mean, I've seen it up in Pakuloa before, in the middle of the island. But yeah,
in Kona,
yeah, pretty unusual. Yeah,
that's
I mean, you got to think about how cold it's got to be. It's got to be coming from way up, right? The weather has to be super high up in the atmosphere, because I mean, if it's anywhere 1,000 feet or below, it's not going to have enough. It's not going to get cold enough to do that.
Not just cold, but mega turbulent, right? To kind of whip around those, to whip those things around. Oh, we have a few more friends that have joined us. Tom is back. Tom, welcome, Tom. Tom Main from the UK. Aloha, everyone. Mele Kalikimaka. Welcome, Tom. Tom, great to have you back, buddy. Really is. And Judy is back. Welcome, Judy. Judy is an Islander Ohana alumni. See, it's aloha from Judy, Ted, and our little Chloe. Welcome, Judy. Great to have you here with us as usual. Jim is with you, Ashley. Jim, as Jen said, look, if you like the cold weather, -13, New York City.
That's crazy. I'm from New Hampshire, Massachusetts area, and it's 1 degrees to 3 degrees, but -13. That's Canada.
Yeah, negative. Heidi and both Heidi and I are from Illinois. I was born in Chicago. -13. We're washing our cars when it's -13. We're out there car washing. That's nothing for Chicagoan, right, Heidi? 40. We're talking 40, 50 below with the wind chill factor. That's when it's cold. Blah 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 blah. Hey, also Kinaya is here with us. Hey, Kinaya, welcome back. Haven't seen you for a few weeks. Aloha from Austin. How's the weather like in Austin? You guys get all kinds of ups and downs kind of weather. 1 or 2 years ago, the power outages and everything, it was all kind of messed up. Hey, Dylan, Paul's got a question for you. Which Vegas hotel do you prefer? That's a good question. We might be going to Vegas soon myself. I'd be curious about that.
By far and away, the Aria is the best I've stayed at.
The Aria.
But I'm also partial to MGM properties, because that's where I get the rewards and the comps at. So I don't diverge, but I've stayed at pretty much every MGM property on the Strip.
The rewards go a long way, man.
But the Aria is beautiful, and the food is amazing, and so check it out. It's one of the newer hotels, right? So that's what it comes down to. If you want to stay at the newest place, the difference between a hotel that was built 25 years ago and a hotel today is like driving a car that was built 25 years ago and driving a car today. So the Aria hotel is like There's an iPad in your room, and it controls everything: the air conditioning, the drapes closing open, the lights. You can dim the lights and turn them back on. It controls the TV. It's amazing. So high
Yeah,
tech.
that's a really good point, because I remember like there was one time, and there was at one time where like the Luxor was like the place to go, and now like the Luxor is like a dump.
I
It's
stayed
just like
there.
a
I
dump.
stayed there recently for a conference, and it was terrible.
Yeah,
So,
it's funny, right?
yeah.
It's really funny how things have changed. Kinaya says, yeah, we're freezing 19 last night. That 19, that is cold. That is cold by any measure, but certainly cold for Austin. Jason's back. Hey, Jason, alumni as well of the Islander Ohana. Aloha from Tennessee. Great to have you up here. I think we got everybody covered over here. Make sure you give us a shout out. Let us know where you're from. Let's move on and let's cover some news right now. To give you some quick updates. So, well, but first, yes, we got to get the music, the Kanakapila. Kanakapila is the Hawaiian word for jam session. So that's our Kanakapila section. So this is one of my favorite bands, HAPA. HAPA is I should have looked up. Can someone do a quick research of the Hawaiian? Look at the Hawaiian dictionary and what's the actual literal meaning of hapa? I think it means half, but I'm not sure. Hapa is the term that we use if someone is half and half. What today is known as biracial. If you're, for example, if you're like half Hawaiian, if you're Hawaiian and Japanese, you'd be called you'd be a hapa Hawaiian or hapa Hawaiian Japanese, etc. This was a great band. I don't know if they're still active or not, but. A Hawaiian guy and a white guy, great music. Love all their stuff. So let's get that. Get your Series, get your Alexas and your Series and your Googles ready, because we're gonna take control for a minute. So here we go. Alexa, play music from HAPA. Now, hey Siri, play music from HAPA on Pandora. Okay, Google, play music from HAPA. Play some of that, gang, and let me know what you think about it. It's one of my favorite bands. But let's get that started. All right, and now that we got that going, let's get to some news over here. So here's a couple things we kind of already had a discussion already. The Winter Wonderland Mauna Kea. If you all saw that shot, in case for those of you that may have just missed out, I'm going to pop this up over here. Take a look at that. Take a look at that shot, gang. That is we don't get Winter Wonderlands too often, and none, very, very few, if ever, like that. I think Dylan mentioned that he's never seen it like that before, and that is some of the big news. We had all kinds of blustery weather, of course, as well on all the islands. We had a discussion about that, so I'm not going to kind of redo that. So it's been a wild weather. There's been trees down, etc. But here we are, and we're going to go to the beach. So that's the way Hawaii is. Healthy Hawaii. Hawaii has been always gets awards on the healthiest states. So there was a report here in the United Health Foundation's annual ranking of states for overall health. We are ranked number 3, which we should be number 1. But anyway, we're number 3 behind Vermont and Massachusetts and New Hampshire. Was that? No, we're 4th. I'm sorry. We're 4th. So Hawaii, of course, health, if health is important, Hawaii is one of the best places to be. Tourism, there may be some deals, gang, maybe some deals. I've seen a bunch of reports that are saying, visitor arrivals are not where they're still below pre-pandemic levels. Occupancy rates are rather low at some hotels. Maybe we're getting the effects of the continued price increases. I'm not too sure, but it could be to your benefit. So check it out. If you're looking at traveling to Hawaii, you may get some really good travel deals. This would be the time that you'd want to check out. Speaking of tourism, Kona, Dylan, I want to hear about this if you heard anything about this, but Kona took the number 2 spots of the ranked by Forbes Advisor as the second best airport for holiday travel in the nation. Kona Airport's really cool because you get off and you're on the tarmac. There's no like long hallways that you have to walk through. You get off, you get off the plane, you walk down the stairs, old school way. You walk onto the tarmac, you get to your thing. It's all open. Of course, it's Hawaii. It's pretty cool. And then finally, Honolulu price increases. I'd be curious to get some comments from you, Ashliey, when your turn comes around. It looks like it was saying that the prices have technically decreased by like 0.6% over the past 2 months, but we're still up by 6% over last year. So we're still increasing, but the increases are slowing. And then finally, let's kind of zoom in over here, look at the weather. The weather is, you can see it's all smoothing out over here. We're looking at high of 80s and high 60s the warms and the colds. Of course, it's perfect degree. It's perfect weather. Jason is 10 degrees here. Crazy, yeah. Well, 10 degrees here, 10 degrees there, 80 degrees over here. It's beach weather, and that's what we're going to be doing, I'm sure, for the holidays. All right, why don't we go counterclockwise and give us the update? Anything you want to report on for Oahu that we haven't shared already? Ashliey, market news, anything else you'd like to share with us about on the Oahu side?
I don't know if there's something specific per se, but I'll state that an observation that the market seems oddly active for December. I've been in this for over 12 years, and normally December is like my calmer month. We're still very busy year round, but I can fit in, going on vacation, and I'm Santa. Obviously, I have a 7-year-old, so I can fit everything in pretty comfortably. And this month, it just seems to be probably one of my busiest months of the year. And it's surprising. And I had a realtor mastermind last night, and I asked, is everyone seeing this across the board, not just our team? And our activity went up, offers, pre-approvals, everything has increased exponentially. Everything that we had went under contract over the last, couple weeks, probably 2 weeks. And there was a general consensus, and there was a lot of investors in that meetup, and they are in meetups across the nation. And they're seeing this in a lot of markets across the nation as well, that this December just picked up exponentially in business. So it's very uncommon. And I think it's a perfect way to end a wonky 2022. These past 2 years in real estate have been interesting, and I felt that is the perfect way to end it. A random spike in sales in December, unheard of in my 12 years.
That's interesting. I wonder if when we get to your turns, Dylan and Heidi, I wonder if how you would reflect on what Ashliey said. So with that, Dylan, like what's the Big Island update? What was interesting over there, new, etc., or what anything else do you want to report on?
But just a notable piece of data is that November was extremely low month in terms of market activity on the Big Island, right? We were down to 329 sales across the island. It was over 750 back in March. So there's been a steady decline from March back down to November. So I just looked at month to date, how we're trending for December. If November was kind of an odd month that was out of the ordinary, or if it's going to be continuing down that same trajectory. And we're at 274 sales right now for the month of December with a week left. So we're on track to probably be around the same as we were in November. So things have definitely slowed down, but I think definitely, to Ashliey's point too, it really depends on what market you're in and how many listings you have, but it definitely still feels busy. I think one of the blessings was probably Sam Bankman-Fried blowing up the crypto world, because I think people are going to come back and understand that, buying tangible assets like real estate is probably a better bet for your money than trusting, crazy tech 20-year-olds with billions of dollars of your money. So, yeah, we'll see. I mean, things have definitely calmed down with interest rates. They've kind of stabilized. They're not doing anything. I think the fear of them going up to like 9% and stuff is past. It's probably not going to happen, but yeah, it's still pretty busy. I mean, the stuff that's priced right is still going under contract immediately.
And that's what we want. That's what we want to hear there. And Uncle Jim said, "Hey, my iPhone is playing Kauluwehio Kekai." All right. Well, I hope you're enjoying it there, Jim. I hope you're enjoying it. That's a great one. Heidi, give us the Maui update. What's happening?
Yeah, I mean, the market's still going over here. Number of sales closing, I mean, is down significantly compared to last year. I mean, for example, like for single family homes in Maui County, there's been 45 sales so far in December. In 2021, that was about 92. So it's about half. As far as condominium inventory, there is more inventory to choose from now. But, things are still selling. I think there's different markets that are better for different buyer personalities. So if for a buyer who was turned off by the, 10 offers, super aggressive market that we were experiencing about a year ago, this might be a more enjoyable time to shop for a property, because there's more opportunity to do some due diligence, to look at the comps to see the price you're offering is supported by comps. So it's just a little bit different experience. But I mean, I think people are adjusting to the interest rates a little bit. And if interest rates stay high or go up, I mean, that's going to further slow down any new construction or new inventory, which just continues to constrain the overall supply. So yeah, I mean, the market's always changing, but it's definitely not dead. I mean, we have buyers calling who are enthusiastic about buying, and new listings are still relatively low. People don't necessarily have a huge motivation to sell because it's harder for them to move up to another property. So, I mean, you might see a lot of people just staying put and not selling for a while, but the new year will reveal what is in store for all of us.
Yes, the new year will indeed reveal what is in store for all of us. I got some quick feedback here from Jim. Is cool music. I save all Hawaiian music suggestions from the show. Jim, you're getting it from the real deal over here, man. And actually, I'm going to re-email you. Ashley, I'm going to send you an email, and you, Heidi, I need to get your recommendations. I've got Dylan's, and Dylan, I actually tried to play yours, but yours were like so Hawaiian that Siri couldn't make it out. Siri kept screwing up. It couldn't do it. Jen says she's enjoying HAPA. Thanks for the recommendations. One of my favorite bands. Their music is just really good. It's very Hawaiian, but yet it's HAPA. That's what's so cool about it, right? It's Hawaiian because you got the Hawaiian guy doing his thing, and then the Hala guy, Barry something is this. I don't know what his last
Flanagan.
name is. It's Barry Flanagan. How about that for a holiday name? Right? Flanagan, right? It doesn't get, you don't get much more Holly than Flanagan, right? And he's super talented, and just puts a great flavor on it. They're both. But anyway, I want to get Heidi and Ashley. I want to get your recommendations. Hey, do you guys a quick minute or two? Do you guys have any questions for each other while we're all here? To Ashley's point about is the market spiking, or anything else you guys want to ask yourselves right here while we're all together? Go ahead, Ashley.
Well, I want to I don't think it's necessarily spiking. I just think for December and what's normally a very slow month, it is busier, and it just started getting busier. So our sales, I don't think, have reflected or caught up to the spike of interest or activity. Like in November, we had 566 sales, and in December, we only have 434 so far. So, but we have 381 that went under contract this month. So I don't think January will necessarily reflect this spike of interest. I just think it's fascinating because I would normally see significantly less at this time of the year. But I am interested if you guys are seeing your listings. Are you getting more activity on them in the last week or two, Dylan and Heidi?
And especially uncharacteristically, I mean, that was your point, right? Like right about now, look, it's the 23rd. Right now, everyone's like, no one's doing anything, man. Everyone's just home. They're just with their family or whatever. But you're getting an uncharacteristic sort of a spike in activity, right? Ashley, that's kind of what I hear you saying. Yeah,
exactly. Are you experiencing that, or is that just isolated to Oahu?
I mean, the listings I have, they were all listed within the past couple weeks. And there's a good amount of activity on them, but I think it's less than what it was like 6 to 9 months ago. But there's still a good amount of activity. I mean, compared to the market in 2019 or 2018, I mean, this is a robust and active market. But just, compared to how it was beginning of 2022, I think there is less activity.
I feel like that, it's a weird answer because like all our primo stuff is sold. Like the stuff doesn't sit on the market. I mean, all our weird stuff like vacant land and super rural housing stuff, that stuff sits, but it always sits. I mean, even a super hot market. So like I was just looking, like I'm like, yeah, I got nothing like super primo that like is just sitting around. It's all under contract. So no, it's still plenty of activity.
All right. Look, it looks like St. Nicholas is coming to your neck of the woods, Ashley, and giving you guys all kinds of additional activity. That sounds like it's the case. All right. Hey, gang, we're going to get into, I got a discussion question for you all, for all of you to participate in, especially those in the audience. But if you have any questions, this is the time you want to pop them in. Get your questions in now so we can kind of queue them up and have them for discussion ready for the rest of the show. Okay. So look, gang, I thought about, we always kind of want to have I like having a big discussion topic to kind of focus on. And so, of course, it is Christmas season, right? And so I thought, why don't we do this? How about let's talk about, I think I kind of wanted to kind of hit it this way. It's like, what is, Christmas is about gift giving, of course. And we all have our favorite, sort of physical gifts, like Heidi's coffee, which is awesome, very physical. But I'd like to kind of get from you guys on what's been your greatest over your life. What has been your greatest immaterial gift that you received during the Christmas season? I've always try to focus on that. For each of the Christmas seasons, I try to look to, I look for sort of a special gift that comes around this time of the year, which is not a material type, which is an immaterial gift, something you can't touch or buy or sell. So I'd be kind of curious about that. So give that some thought. And for you in the audience, what is the greatest immaterial gift that you've received? Now, again, it could be that you closed the sale. It could be that, those are all, I'm just talking about, excluding a physical thing that you could buy at Amazon.com. That's kind of what let's exclude that, right? A box that you give with some stuff in it that you have to buy, right? Something else. What is the greatest gift that you've received? And why don't we kind of go straight down? Let's go Heidi and then Dylan and then Ashliey. And I really want to hear from you all as well. If you're watching, give us pop in. What's been the greatest thing you received during the Christmas season, which you can't buy at a store? Heidi, go ahead.
I can go first if you need.
I'm really on the spot here.
I can go first.
So
let me go first. Let me go first.
Have Dylan go first. Go, Dylan. Yeah.
So I have a hybrid answer to this because it is somewhat material, but it's immaterial. So my wife, ever since my son was born, so 14 years ago, she makes a book every Christmas. So she makes a book of photos from the year before. And that's a great thing about the technology world we live in, right? We always have a shared Google Photos album that automatically sucks in pictures of the kids and us into it. So she, at the end of the year, like usually she starts in November and she makes a 12-month book starting in the previous November. We always miss December because the book is printed in December. But it's, basically a book chronicling our year and our life. And then she writes a letter at the end about what everybody's doing in life. And we actually spent like 2 hours last night. The new book came in yesterday. And so that came in, we looked at it, and then she always brings out all the old books. So there's, all 14 volumes. And we started and we went back and looked at a few from years past. And it's just a super cool exercise to go through and see, where you were in life, what you were doing. And it brings back memories. So like you remember this picture of doing this thing or going on this vacation or whatever it was. And it was just a super fun, time to go through and reminisce on. It doesn't seem that long ago, but sometimes you forget about stuff that happened 7-8 years ago. That was really cool at the time. And so that I just super enjoy that she takes the time to do that because she gives it away to our, to the grandmas and grandpas and everybody. That's kind of like their part of their Christmas gift. But just having it, personally is like one of my favorite things she does all year. It's not necessarily a gift for me; it's a gift for everybody. But I super enjoy going back through and seeing all that stuff.
That is a really great idea, and like you said, with specifically with Google Photos, you could put together a book relatively easily.
It's and then Shutterfly is what she uses, right? So Shutterfly's got these books that you just choose the size, and then there's like layout pictures, and you just drag and drop, and then just puts the pictures. It's not super hard to compose.
I've done that, and I've done the calendars, and it actually is very time consuming and a lot of photos. So kudos to your wife because that's hard.
The hardest part is now with digital photography. There's 2,000 photos at the end of the year, right? That you could put in the book, right. And you got to pick like 200 or 300 of your favorite ones. So that is the hardest part is sifting through it. Yes. You got to discriminate. Which friends make it in, which family parties make it in.
Your wife has to make some critical decisions there.
But you remember the good. It's all good, but then you remember funny seasons where it's like, somebody's girlfriend that's no longer in the picture anymore, right? Like or a pet that passed away. I mean, just all this stuff that you don't really think about anymore because it's a different season in life, and you go back and you look, and it was a totally different world, 10 years ago.
Yeah, and you see those transitions and things of that nature. It's a great thing. I've made books in the past. I've done one for my mom. I did one for my one of my daughters. And it's so cool that we've got these tools available that you can kind of click, boom, 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 put the thing together, wham, have the book. And Jeff Halverson says dinner with friends and family. Yes, that is exactly correct. And Ashliey, Jen agrees with you. It takes me forever to format. I love this though. Yeah, it does take.
Your wife deserves a massage.
There you go.
She subscribes to my philosophy of done is better than good in these. Sometimes there's typos, sometimes there's missing pictures, but doesn't matter. It gets done. So we don't criticize.
By that, I needed that quote in my life.
It's funny, but just to chime in here with all the things, one thing, and I've only done it once or twice, and I looking back, I wish I would have done it more often. But there was in the vein of photos and photo albuming, there was this app for PCs, something Movie Maker. I forgot what it was, but what you would do is you would collect all the photos that you want to include. And then you would start sort of the record button, and then you could voice over, you could narrate each photo. So you'd narrate the photo, click narrate, click narrate, click narrate. And this one year in particular for Christmas, I had my daughters, who at the time were like 5 years old, 6 years old, right around that 5 to 7 age, that perfect little age. And so we all got around, and of course I'm the audio guy, so I got the microphones up, I got everybody mic'd up and everything. And so we sat there, the three of us, and we went through like this collection of photos, and I had the girls. It was amazing. The girls narrated each and every photo. And we had this, when we were done, we had this little video slideshow where like, Mommy, this is when you and I went to and I really liked da 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 da. So it was super cute. It was super, super, super cute because you got the girls narrating their own photos and their own voice. And it was really, really fun. Great immaterial gift. So excellent. Heidi, you want to chime in, or should we go to Ashliey first before we swing around to you?
Oh, I thought of something. So
excellent.
This
Go for
is
it.
From my fiance Alan. Is during the holidays, often because we both have the day off, and if we're on Maui, we don't have a lot of family here, so I like to go on adventures out hiking and out in nature. And he's been very kind to agree to go on some pretty adventurous hikes with me. And that was a great gift. I think just the presence of the people that you love around the holidays. And I mean, going to visit family or having family visit me, I mean, that's such a bigger gift than getting a material item. So, yeah.
That's it. I mean, I've been doing this for quite some time now, at least 10 years, probably even more. But I always try to maintain an awareness of receiving spiritual gifts during this season. I've always tried to focus on that, and it makes the holiday period so much more meaningful, right? Because you kind of sense a gift when you get it, and you're like, oh man, that is a gift sort of the Christmas spirit. For those of us, for practicing Christians, it's especially meaningful, right? It's like, wow, this is what the birth of the Savior is all about. This is what the entire holiday season is for. It's like, wow, here it is. It's cool. So what about you, Ashliey? What kind of spiritual immaterial gifts can you share that you've received during the holidays that are meaningful to you?
It's really hard to narrow it down. I'm such like a loving, affectionate person by all definitions possible. So I'm like this, kind of rough, sensitive person. And there's been I find in the holidays and more now on Christmas than Thanksgiving, an insane amount of gratitude where people are just they're expressing themselves. Like in this past week, I've been doing, parties with my team or with clients and stuff like that. And everyone's just verbalizing, how much they appreciate something. And it fills your heart and it fills your soul in such a way that it feels amazing. I love Christmas lights. They just bring me so much joy. Like, I love driving around and looking at Christmas lights, and I feel like it's such an intangible gift to my eyes and my brain. And lastly, my daughter, just seeing the values that has been instilled in her and seeing like how big her heart has become. She created a Christmas gift, a Christmas list, and I'll see if I can go grab it real quick, but it's 10 things on there, and 8 of them were like things to rescue kittens. So like baby kitten formula, like bottles to feed them, a heating blanket to give them. And then and I have it on my fridge, and somebody's like, well, they're not all kitten related because she's obsessed with rescuing because she takes after her mom. And except for she's rescuing cats, and I'm a dog person, but nonetheless, I have $50 worth of crown flower trees to rescue butterflies or caterpillars. I don't know. It's a very expensive hobby, but on her Christmas list, it says camera. And then they're like, well, there's something besides a cat on here. And I was like, that's to take pictures of the kittens. But the very last thing it says, and if possible, a real live baby kitten. Like, and it was just more like that was the last thing. Like, everything else was to serve and to protect. And the very last thing was like, and if it's doable, and I know it's hard, possibly a real live kitten. And I was like, wow, she's going to be good. She's going to be a good person. She's going to be a good human. And that's what Christmas is for, is serving others and wanting things that, not for yourself, but to give. That was the best present.
That's
Yeah.
excellent. Great story. Great story, Ashley. Thank you. And you know what? We have another great story here, as short as it can be expressed, but this is pretty amazing, Tom, and I could really imagine it. Thank you, Tom. First of all, before I read it off here, Tom, thank you for sharing. That's a pretty cool thing. Best immaterial gift was meeting our biological family for the first time. One of my parents was adopted, and we found them when I was 14. I can't imagine what that how amazing that must have been like. There was I don't know if y'all ever watched this. There was this like series about folks that were trying to find their biological parents, or parents that were trying to find their biological children, and those were always. I would always cry watching that series all the time. I would always cry at the end every single time, and that's, I guess, why it was so popular. But I really enjoyed it. So thank you, Tom, for sharing. I can imagine the impression you must have had at 14. How cool is that? Paul says, best gift after a boozy law firm Christmas party, the Latin fashion model turned secretary decided she wanted to continue the party at my place. Thank you, Jesus. Okay, well, I. Paul, everyone gets their, thank you for keeping that clean. I didn't know what I was reading into, but I should have read it before I read it, but
I read it before when you started. I'm like, this is going to be good.
But we all get to, thank you for keeping it clean and letting the imagination run wild on that one, Paul. But we all get to have our own memorable holiday time. Jackie, welcome, Jackie. Jackie is I want to say a senior Aloha, a senior Islander Ohana alumni, one of the cornerstones of the alumni group on Oahu. She says, we celebrate by doing experiences versus gifts. Yes, exactly. That's it. How much we enjoy time together. Tonight, we share the river of lights, and tomorrow is the luminaries. Awesome. Yeah, that is. Thank you, Jackie, for sharing. And by the way, I don't know if you all can see that, but Jackie moved to Oahu. Islander Ohana member. She moved to Oahu in January of 2022, and I don't know if you can see that Facebook profile photo, but she is there at a hula halau, which is really, really cool. That is the cool thing that Jackie has integrated, and really a great example of supporting, upholding local values, which I really appreciate. All right. Yeah. I think this is the thing is, I really enjoy that. I've come to find that, like I said, I think by maintaining an awareness of the spiritual side of the holidays has become a really meaningful part for me. And it's been, as I get older, because gifts kind of like, we don't do the gift giving thing. I mean, the gifts are kind of what do I want for Christmas? I can go and buy it anytime I want, right? So it's like I don't need to, it was like when I was a kid, I couldn't get anything I want, so I had to wait for Christmas to get my toy. Now I can buy the toy anytime I want to buy the toy. So it's not about the giving gifts is one thing, but so the receiving is about the spiritual part. So all right, thanks, gang, for sharing. Why don't we, gang, does anyone have any questions or comments? I'll pop them in. Why don't we do this? Let's just move on into. We'll see how this goes today. Let's get into our diamonds and deals and talk about the properties that we want to share. Gang, we're kind of moving on, but if something pops in your head, you want to share, pop it in. We'd love to see, because this is it's great to kind of read about this. And Auntie Joyce got a question. Palm here. Sounds like Dylan is the winner. Really loving. Yes. Winners. This is the beautiful part about immaterial gifts. You can't. To me, there is no winners because it's immaterial.
I will always be the winner in Auntie Joyce's eyes. So it's not a fair. It's not a fair judgment.
Yeah, I mean, this is the beauty. This is actually the beauty of the immaterial gifts. How do you compare, right? A poster about saving kittens versus a family photo collection of the past year versus an incredible hike with someone that you love, right? How do you compare that? The answer is you can't, and that's what makes it so much fun. So yeah, Auntie Joyce agrees, and I think so. So there's a bias going on, which is really hilarious. All right, gang, pop us in again. Questions, share us I really would like to hear more about your experiences. That's really what the holiday season is all about. But that notwithstanding, let's move on. Let's get our diamonds and deals. We got the properties that we all want to kind of highlight here, and let's start with Heidi. Wow, this is a beautiful beachfront property, Wailuku. Give us the lowdown. What is this?
So this is, well, as you can see, it's direct ocean front, over 4.5 acres, and there's this beautiful contemporary plantation style home. It has panoramic views. There's also a separate cottage, and there's ag land, so you could have horses, cattle, and just anyway, pretty incredible property, and it's listed at 5.5 in Wailuku.
That is seems like a great deal.
Unbelievable, right?
Yeah,
unbelievable.
4.5 acres,
right? Not just 4.5 acres. It's 4.5 acres on the darn water. I mean, it's 4.5 acres ocean front. And the house is looks like it's in new condition. Like that kitchen view is really cool, Heidi. Could you imagine preparing making your Heidi's morning coffee in that kitchen? That is just remarkable. I'm wondering, gang, about these oceanfront. I mean, there's these oceanfront properties. I don't know if some are overpriced or underpriced, but I think they're all in some ways underpriced in a way, because these things are just not going to be, these are not terribly available, right? And I don't know, maybe they're probably market price, but anyway.
Question about that property. Heidi, that chain link fence, is there access to the water?
Not really. It's not like a beachfront property where you walk down to the beach. But you do have a good amount of ocean frontage, and you have a lot of land. And what's also unique about this property compared to other things on the market is, I mean, the house is pretty new and it's in beautiful condition. Same thing with the cottage. Often when you see properties like this, I mean, they might be something you'd have to come in and completely rebuild, where this is pretty turnkey.
No, it's great. And that beach right there, is it because you can't get through the terrain between there, or could somebody in theory add access, or is it not permitted to do so?
That's a great question. It's not really a sandy beach. It's kind of a rocky, windy beach. But you do have ocean frontage. I mean, you could get access to it. So
I like rocky, sandy beaches because I love to scavenge for things, and I feel like it collects goodies in the rocks and stuff. So, and nobody walks them, so they're usually really private. So I really like that. I might have a client. I was just wondering if you can open up the fence and if that terrain is walkable, because I think that that's beneficial. You get the ultimate privacy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Wow, it would just warm there we go. There's an immaterial gift right there for Christmas. It would just warm my heart if you guys got together and there was a client that you guys can pass between each other. That would just be a fabulous gift. Excellent, excellent, love it. Yeah, thanks Ashley for asking the questions. I really would like to have this dialogue. So as you guys present, as you folks present your properties, please pop out the questions to each other. They're really beneficial. I mean, actually, good eagle eyes there. I would have caught that chain link fence, but then again, I'm a guy, so I don't notice those kinds of details. But that's really cool. Awesome. Let's see what's up next. So this is an interesting a setup over here. We this is Makaha. Ashley, yours. Go for it. What is it?
Me. I wanted to do an entry level home because I have a lot of developments right now sitting. So this one just went live this week, and it's a perfect entry level, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Plus, it has that bonus room and office right off the entry. And you've got a fully fenced gated yard. And then there's a lot of large lots around it. So the roads are just not as crowded. It doesn't feel like you're confined and you're close there. You've got the views of the Waianae mountain range, and you're back there with the Makaha Valley. And then Makaha it's a 21-acre beach park, sandy beach all along, great surf spots, dolphins, the works. So it's just a simple home, 787,000.
Well, what's the median? The median price on Oahu is like 1.1, 1.2, something like that.
It's about 1.1. Yeah.
1.1. Yeah. So
She's
this
below.
is a nice
She's a good deal.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys, and this is one of your projects you folks just finished because the photos look like it's brand new.
This isn't a personal flip of mine. This is one of my investors that I've been working with for over half a decade. He's actually born and raised on the West Side and very prideful. And he partnered with another realtor on the design, hence the wallpaper in the background. Got a custom breakfast nook in the back there, and they did the accent wall. But this investor, what I like about him is that he focuses more on the details, like doing a drop-in sink, like I showed there. It's cheaper for investors to just put, a regular over-the-counter sink. It's an 8.5-foot ceiling instead of 8 foot. They could have, they didn't have to raise it rather. They put sod in the front yard instead of just grass plugs. I'm trying to think of other details that they typically do. Like they redo all the electric wiring.
I get it. Yeah, it's beautiful. And details, I mean, and details is what makes the difference. And we all know about that. It's all about the details. Details is what makes the difference between something good and something great. So great project. Love it. Thanks, Ashley. Okay. Anybody have any questions for Ashley? Gang, if you have any questions for Ashley, pop in the comments as well. Dylan or Heidi, don't wait on me. Just jump right in with your questions. All right. Let's see what we got next here. We got Dylan. What's this? Well, this is great variety, you guys. Love it.
I went deal on this one, and I went east side of the island. So this is Mauna Loa Shores, which is in the Hilo side, right next to Carl Smith Beach Park on 4 Mile. If you're familiar with that, it's a long strip of land that is along the shoreline on the Hilo side. But yeah, just a one bed. Actually, this is a 2-bedroom. I typo here. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath condo, 720 square feet for $399. Great deal. Under some of the other comps that have sold in there, but just a residential complex, so no short-term vacation rentals, Ashley.
I have a buyer for this too.
But I mean, you can see the location. It's basically like you just walk over right into the water. It's super cool building. There's not that many buildings like this in Hilo. There's only a couple, so it's not like Kona where you have a ton of oceanfront or near the ocean condos. So if you're looking for something like that on the east side, great deal. Move-in ready. Nothing special, nothing luxury. Just a move-in ready, great deal. And HOA is just under $700 a month.
How many parking?
So it's thank you, Ashley. Parking? No.
I believe there's only one assigned, but there's a ton of parking around it. Like there's parking at the beach park, there's parking along the street. Parking's not an issue. And it looks busier here because these pictures are taken on a beautiful day. Right? It's usually, it's sometimes it rains in Hilo. So if it's not a beautiful sunny day, you're not going to have as much people down at the beach.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's quite the picturesque photo there, but still, it's beautiful. I mean, look, man, for a two bedroom, it's a 2 bedroom, 1 bath condo, Hilo, 400,000, $700 a month in HOA fees. You know,
Great, yeah, great for
great,
retiree that doesn't want any, yard
great.
maintenance or anything like that, or second home, where you just want to shut the door and spend a couple months in the mainland. Super easy.
And frankly, if you're a retired couple, you don't need 2 cars because you're retired. So one car, one stall does the trick. It's a winner. Excellent. All right, hey gang, y'all. Does anyone have any questions or comments on these properties? Which would you take? Would you take the? Let's do a quick recap over here. Would you do the? Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. I think we all know what the answer is going to be for today. But do you take the 4.5 acres at 5 for 5? But again, price being if you had to pay for it, though, 4.5 million, 5.5 million for the incredible cottage and home on Maui, 787 for the 3 bedroom, 2 bath home in Makaha, or 400 for the 2 bedroom, 1 bath condo on the Big Island. Great bunch of great collection of choices. All right. I think I want to pop. There were some questions that we had. Since we have a little bit of time, I wanted to kind of hit those. We had a couple of good questions that were submitted over the past week or so, and I kind of wanted to hit those if we could. So one was about home swaps. Is this anything that you guys know about? So here's a question from Debbie from California. She says, "I live in California and I miss Hawaii. Do you know of any resources for short to medium term home swaps?" So I'm assuming what she's talking about is a home swap is where, you live in my house and I'll live in yours, and we'll kind of do it for like, even Steven, or some kind of an exchange. Have you folks heard about, I've heard about this. Do you know of any, are there any home swap sites? Have you heard of this being, is this being done on any kind of a large scale, or do you just kind of or do you have to kind of know a network of friends? Whoever wants to go first, just jump in.
Well, I can tell you why this isn't a widespread thing, right? What are the chances that you can find somebody where you want to be, who wants to be where you are, that has a similar type of property and similar type of time frame? I mean, there's so many things that have to line up that, because I do get asked this all the time, and then I put the question back on the person, like, what do you think the chances are there's somebody here with a house similar to yours that wants to go to your house for the same amount of time that you want to come here? I mean, it's a needle in a haystack. It's like winning the lottery, right? So I think tech would have solved this problem if it was something that was easy to solve, because you could just have a posting, online, where you would have a filter and you could be able to match it up. But it's not like Uber, where there's hundreds of people that are driving the same place that you want to go at any given time.
It's got to be like a 1-to-1 match, right? Because even if you have like the
There's
scale of the
there's
net,
so many factors. Yeah.
Right. Right. So for example, let's just take this example here, and we'll just pick on you, Debbie, for the fun of it, though. Would be okay. Who has a home in Kona wants to go live in Yucaipa, California, and someone in Yucaipa, California wants to live in Kona, right? Just not,
Yeah.
Unless you live in popular places. Good. Heidi, Ashley, is there anything you guys want to add to this one?
I've actually seen websites where you could do this, but I don't have any personal experience with it. What I do know is, if you become friends or form a relationship with another family and then people plan ahead, it's something more done through a personal network. You have to have a lot of trust with strangers coming into your home. What are you leaving around in your home where it's just ready for somebody to come in? But I've seen postings on Craigslist for things like this. But I don't have a lot of personal experience with it, but it doesn't mean it can't work. It's an interesting idea for sure. And I can see it's attractive.
Literally, VRBO and Airbnb solve this problem, right? You put your house on Airbnb and you find somebody somewhere in the world that wants to rent it, and you go find a house where you want to go and you rent that house. And it doesn't have to be a 1-to-1 switch. It's just the market figures that out itself, right? So essentially, that's the best way to solve this problem. Is if you plan to go somewhere for 2 months or whatever, just put your house on Airbnb. Most places, check your local laws or whatever, right? But even if you don't normally do short-term vacation rentals, you can put your house on for a minimum 30-day rental in most markets and not have to, be covered by some short-term vacation rental law or permit. If it is your primary residence, in most cases, you are exempt from those types of regulations. If you're going to rent it out one time a year for a month or two, and it's your primary residence, you don't have to worry about that stuff.
I do know realtors that have done it, like that have very little obligations, and they do it with their social network. Beyond that, I don't. I just looked it up, and there's homeexchange.com, and there's one house in Hawaii. It's in Waimea. So maybe that'll be the one for you. But it looks like they charge still, and you got to pay for cleaning. But make friends. Come over, visit, meet people on the beach, and then come
There you go.
here,
Makes
talk to these people in the chat room.
great idea. Make some friends, and look, I think, and make some friends, and kind of do. Dylan, I think actually your solution is the easiest. Just put your home up on Airbnb. That's it. You're done. Because at the end of the day, you're doing the exchange because you kind of want to get it sort of like for free, right? Sort of. That's kind of what you're doing it, right? So you put your house up on Airbnb, you'll get some money for that. Take that money and then use it to get an Airbnb in Hawaii, and then off you go. You become the arbitrage. You don't have to have a specific person. That's why God made cash, so you can kind of switch the house for cash.
Well,
right?
I just want to add that I would not suggest doing that on Maui. I mean, there's huge fines for illegal vacation rentals, and people are out watching. I mean, the fine for an illegal vacation rental is $20,000 and then $10,000 a day. And I don't necessarily know if you'd be exempt from that, even if it's your personal residence. So I'd be really careful. I think it's better to just make friends with somebody and make an arrangement that's not publicly posted on a rental site. Or
there you
just
go. Do a private
or rent
arrangement.
a legal vacation rental.
Yeah, no, but I mean, thanks Heidi for keeping us on the straight and narrow. Yeah, don't break any laws, anybody. But yeah, and ultimately, like if you do like Ashliey and make friends, get on chats, get to know people, and then find someone who wants us to trade with you. That would be like the way to do it. Not someone that you would know and trust. Yeah. But then again, hey, what the heck? If you could do it legally, a quick swap with Airbnb will do the trick. All right. Thanks, gang. You know what? Let's move on. Let's get into our closing thoughts. It's been a great show. Thank you all. Hey, gang, if you got some closing thoughts that you want to share when this is about, our closing motivational kind of thoughts is what this section is all about. Share us. Would love to have yours. By the way, I want to give a shout out. Thank you, Ashliey, for doing the research. HAPA does translate to half. So that's what HAPA means. HAPA does mean half. I wasn't sure about that, but thank you for sharing that. All right, let's get this going over here. Dylan, what is your thing, and how is it meaningful to you?
It's funny because I did this before the show, but definitely just goes back to gratitude. Is the best Christmas gift is to realize how much you already have. So sometimes we focus too much on the material stuff, but I mean, it's definitely a season for gratitude and reflection, and we have so many blessings, and you don't need any more Amazon stuff.
Isn't that the truth? It took me some time to get used to asking myself, what do I want for Christmas in the material sense? What do I want for Christmas?
Isn't that funny about Hawaii? I think that in this island life that you do find that you need less. So people will come and they'll often comment on the condition of the homes, for example, or the neighborhoods, and why don't people have pride of ownership? Why don't they take care of their houses? And I just explained that that's not everything to people here. They're outside a lot. They're at the beach. They're, at other people's houses. So I just think that living in Hawaii, it shifts your mindset from from things to people. So
absolutely. There's a video, one of my earliest videos I did on the channel was Hawaii, is it worth it? And can you afford it? And is it worth it? And I make the distinction between what is your value system? Is it spiritualist values or materialist values, right? If you have material values, Hawaii is not going to be good for you because Hawaii is not a material place. But if you have spiritual values like beauty and family and nature, Hawaii is the cheapest place to live in the world. Auntie Jones chimed in over here with during the spiritual time, let miracles find you. Yes, excellent. Well stated. Jackie says, Mele Kalikimaka, everyone, and Mele Kalikimaka to you, Jackie. I'm really glad that you were here. Excellent. Let's get to the next one over here. Heidi, what's yours, and how is it meaningful to you?
So there is an unlimited number of seats in the theater of happiness. And I heard this quote, and to me, it just reminds me to be mindful of the abundance that there is for everyone. And if somebody else is experiencing success or has something that you want, I mean, just realize there's enough for everybody. And every single person, regardless of your situation, I mean, has the ability to be happy and joyful and experience abundance in their life.
The ultimate non-zero sum game, right? Is we can there's unlimited number of seats. I love that. I love that analogy. Thanks Heidi for sharing that. Love it. Ashliey, what's yours?
I just had to keep it on theme, you know? It's Christmas. Life is a gift, y'all, so be in the present. I think be happy with what you have right now. Not everyone has maybe what they feel is a traditional Christmas, and we kind of get lost in our families and what we have. So if you don't have, you know, your loved ones with you for this Christmas, if you don't have what you might be traditional, if you had a loss or anything, just the day will pass one day at a time. Just be in this moment, in the present, because it is a gift that we are alive.
Thank you, Ashliey. Great one. So many ancient philosophies are about like living in the present, right? Live in the present moment and just kind of, enjoy it for what it is. It's all that we really have, right? We don't have the past that's gone, and the future isn't here yet. Really, the only thing we really do have is right now, this moment, which has been a great moment. It's a great moment right now, which I am really enjoying. All right. And I'm going to pop in my proverbs. I came across this and I think it was, well, let me read it first. Precious treasure remains in the house of the wise, but the fool devours it. So, this is to say that, the treasures that you have, don't they're precious, right? Don't devour them, enjoy them, hold them, keep them in the house of the wise. The fool devours it. It's also a hat tip to saying to wealth accumulation. One of the things, what popped in my head was always kind of, this popped in as this came across to me, is that so many people who I've seen, so many follow this sort of pattern, that people who become very successful, they start sort of spending. Their spending also goes up with their level of success. So they start making money, they start spending all kinds of money, and they're just as broke in the end as they were before they were making any money. But if you can keep the precious treasures in the house, that's what the wise do, as opposed to devouring them. So enjoy that. Let's see. Uncle Jim's got a couple things over here. He's saying, all, as the song says, don't worry, be happy. Exactly. Don't worry, be happy. And Tom says, mahalo for a great show. As always, everyone, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, Tom. Thanks for making it all the way from the UK. You are our most distant audience member. Great. All right. Why don't we kind of say goodbye? Let's go counterclockwise. Say Ashliey, then Dylan, and then Heidi. Give everyone your goodbyes.
Peter, I just want to say that I'm grateful for you and you guys all for the opportunity to hang out with you a couple times a month. So thanks for putting this together and put so much effort into it. Everyone have a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, blessed holidays. Aloha.
Yep. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year, everybody.
Aloha, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and thanks to everybody that watches the show and hangs out with us.
Have a Merry Christmas, everyone. We'll see you in 2 weeks, which means it'll be in the new year as well. So have a great new year. Have a ha'ole makahiki ho. Have a great bring in the 2023, and we'll see you after the first week. Aloha, everyone.